I've got like a whole bit where it's like I'm the she/her of the relationship, and my girl's like the guy.
How so?
Well, fucking on Tuesday, I left the Comedy Store and I went to go get In-N-Out, and my car broke in the middle of the drive-thru, and I had no idea what happened, dude.
No shit.
Yeah, so I actually called my girlfriend, and she knew exactly what was wrong with my car. Even the mechanic who came to pick it up, fucking was wrong. My girlfriend was right.
No shit.
Yeah, it was just a battery.
Okay, well then you have somebody who like knows what the fuck they're talking about,
Yeah.
which is a huge just upside of life.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's tough when you have someone that just like I've dated girls where they have all the answers and none of them are right.
Always, dude.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's so many people like that, and it's women and men. There's the know-it-alls that are like, I'll tell you exactly what that is because they have to know for some reason that they are important and they know everything, and they're almost never right, and then they blame something else when they're wrong.
Right. That's me.
Oh yeah. they're like Brucey in The Longest Yard. Like I shouldn't have had that popcorn. Oh jeez.
Brucey, dude.
Yeah, Brucey, dude. A Brucey reference in 2023? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
I'm all about Brucey.
Talk about an iconic character. That guy was the shit.
Fucking hilarious, dude. Where you could actually make fun of gays, right?
Was he gay?
And remember, he was like the fairy.
Right. No,
Yeah.
there was the
cheerleader.
Yeah, the who was it that played the cheerleader? Oh my god, it was on 30 Rock. Talks about getting everybody pregnant. Fucking
I forget his name.
that's gonna drive me nuts. That's gonna drive me absolutely crazy. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't get it. But I'll probably remember it like 30 minutes from now. So keep watching the episode, guys, for when I just randomly remember who that is, who played the guy wearing the lipstick in The Longest Yard and was also in 30 Rock. Tracy Morgan!
Tracy Morgan, dude.
Jesus, that was going to be a problem. I'm
Tracy
telling you right now,
Morgan,
that was going to be an issue. Anyway, welcome in. It's Catastrophic Love. I'm Mike Bassano, joined by Jesse Tugas. Tugas, thank you for joining me. He's an LA comic. He's also got a great podcast called The Successful Failure. Go check it out. A ton of episodes. Every episode is really good, and it's about comedians and their start and their journey. What have you learned so far? We'll get into the relationship stuff. As you already know, he has a girlfriend. We'll get into that too. But I do want to know, what have you learned from other comics on this podcast, the Successful Failure? What's the most like wow moment you've had?
I guess just the idea of bombing, because I was so scared of it in the beginning. You know what I mean? And like, obviously I'm still scared of it now, but just the process. Now I'm getting more comfortable where it's just like, I got to bomb. Like
Yeah.
now, like I'll go to places. I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna bomb today. Like before my first show, dude, I hit up two mics, and I wanted to bomb on purpose.
Yeah.
Because it was like, okay, I just got to get out of the way. Because I noticed when I do that, I'll do better the next mic.
Yes.
So that was one of the things that I had learned through that podcast. Other stuff too was just like Evan Warner was a really good episode where he would talk about like how comedy's like a spiritual thing for him, and I really resonated with that because I was like a former hippie a few years ago.
Nice.
Yeah. And
Do we have a long-haired Tugas? Was that a
there
thing?
was long. It was like down to like my shoulders.
Oh, nice,
Yeah,
dude.
It was terrible.
All right, if you send me a photo of that, we'll put it on the video podcast for people watching on YouTube because I'm curious.
But yeah, no, that was just one of his things where it's just like, don't get too technical with it. You just got to feel it out. Feel out what you got to say. Because I was getting way too technical, especially with the writing. You know what I mean? Getting in my head.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
That was another one too. Miranda told me to get in my body as opposed to my head. You know what I mean? And that helped me tremendously, especially before my first show.
Yeah, that's huge. I usually play basketball. Like, I have a show tonight. I'm going to play basketball. Like, when we're done, I'm going to go shoot because that gets me. It's interesting you put it as get it in your body. To me, it was just like run myself to the point where I'm no longer thinking. That's what I was thinking of it. But I saw that episode with Miranda, and I thought that was really good insight. It was a really good way to put it.
Right.
Like, get into your body because that way the emotionality of whatever you're doing kind of flows through you instead of just... Like, we all see it, the people that go up and it's like they're just really stiff.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is because they're so in their head. And,
Exactly.
You know, and some people pull it off. Like some people I think are really stiff and don't move a lot and it works because that's kind of their shtick and that's kind of their personality.
Right.
But for other people, it's just they're standing still because they're scared.
Yeah.
So if you get into your body, yeah.
That was me, dude. And especially like if something that like a punchline that I didn't think would work or worked, I would just get more and more into my head.
Damn.
And obviously, like fucking smoking weed before mics, that didn't help. It didn't help at all.
So you said, I heard you say earlier you weren't smoking weed anymore. Are you now smoking, but like not right before you do comedy?
Yeah, I like I just had to stop it, dude. Especially because you spending that money.
Yeah.
You work all day fucking writing, and then you forget some fucking tags.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So now I'm just like, okay, it's an at night thing. You know?
Yeah, I get that. For me, it's a hit and miss. I'll still smoke sometime, ever so often.
Right.
If the show, like if I know it's going to be bad, if I know the crowd's going to be small and it's not going to, and I'm just like, because it's hard to get up and it's hard to have fun when you know it's going to be small. So then I'll smoke sometimes because then I'll still have fun with it.
I'm sure there's going to be a time where I want to smoke again. Like,
for sure.
Obviously, like these improvs and stuff like that, the improv mics, you know what I mean? Like, I find myself wanting to get high for those, but not right now. I think maybe for the next couple months, I'm just going to stay sober with the mics.
I love that.
And then just get used to that. Get used to being sober every time, no matter what mic it is, just going up there sober.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
So this is a podcast where we discuss relationships, courting, having sex, breakups, the most catastrophic things that happen in your love life. I have just infinite stories that'll just pop up throughout because something you'll say will just remind me of some epic, horrible thing that happened during my entire life. Because that's what I am. I'm the one. I'm the problem. I'm the toxic person. I'm aware of that. People make fun of me for it. Comics in the scene kind of know that about me now. So most of the riffs about me are about me being toxic. And I'm okay with that. It's who I am as a person.
Right.
And I'm not going to apologize for that. But you are in a relationship. And apparently, from what I've seen, because I've met your girlfriend, you guys live together. You guys have a very healthy relationship. It seems like you guys have like a really good connection and a really good compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you do that?
It's all her, dude. I'll be honest with you. This is like I've only been in 2 relationships my whole life, both long term, and just dated here and there, whatever. But with this one, it was one of those things where she's younger than me, but she's a lot more mature than me. That's the thing. And I don't know if it's because she's her upbringing. She went to like boarding schools for most of her life, so she's very independent.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And where I'm the complete opposite. I'm dependent of everybody. You know what I mean. But I think what makes it great is just that she's very patient with me. Very patient with me. That was one thing where a girlfriend from the past, we just never got along because she just wasn't patient, and the bickering would just get worse and worse. But with her, she understands to like maybe when I get too angry, take a step back. Let me do my thing, you know what I mean? And then we just talk it out. But I'll be honest with you, dude, before stand-up, it was getting bad because I was in a really low place in my life. I stepped away from film, didn't have work, you know what I mean? The strike was going, so I didn't know what to do in LA. Everything's so fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And when I started doing stand-up, I noticed myself, obviously, they'd always tell you to be authentic, always tell the truth. And I started doing that with at the mics with other comedians. And I was just like, dude, I don't even do this with my girl.
Wow.
So stand-up really helped me open up to my girlfriend where she already had it. She was just there. She knew how to handle everything. Mm-hmm. But because of stand-up, I think our relationship has gotten stronger and more loving, to be honest with you.
Dude, I love that because I see that same kind of thing, I guess, throughout my life where stand-up, you have to be vulnerable to get laughs. You just have to.
You have to.
In today's comedy, that whole like old shticky, Andrew Dice Clay. Love Andrew Dice Clay, but the hickory dock shit, it's not really working anymore. Comedy evolves. So in order to get real laughs, you have to be vulnerable. You have to open yourself up. And I've seen it in my life too, where it's like I'm not necessarily in any kind of healthy relationship, but I'm more honest about what I want, and I'm less. I would do this thing called mirroring, which is not a great trait to have, where I would go out with girls and I would always just become whatever they wanted it to be. And it was easy for me. Right. It was like I could just read through their social cues what they wanted and become that person for as long as I wanted to. And it's a little psychotic, but it's just being honest. It's like when you read about it, it's like, oh, so you're like a crazy person. But you do it, I think, because you don't really know what you want. And being on stage has helped me kind of find more of my identity again that I had when I was hosting talk shows all the time. I had more of that identity because you have to do as well there.
Sure.
But the film world's different, right? I'm in that world too, as you have been. And there's a lot of pressure to be what they tell you to be. And that creates sort of a loss of your sense of self. Yeah. And comedy's almost the complete opposite, where you have to be bare bones, down to the soul, exactly who you are, or you're going to come off like a fucking hack.
Exactly, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's crazy that you said about film, dude, because that's so spot on, because you become the industry.
Yeah,
you know what
dude.
I mean? And if you're not, you have no place in it.
Exactly.
Absolutely zero place in it, dude.
And like if you talk to people, I talk to people now like that are actors and stuff. Now that I've spent more time with comics over the last 6 months or so, and it's different. They seem more insecure to me than they used to.
No
you know what I
kidding.
mean? Like they come off more insecure, and it's how I used to come off, more insecure than I am now. So I think comedy is a huge thing for relationships as a whole, just being able to be more honest and open about who you are and what you want.
100%, dude.
That's awesome that you guys have gone through that. So has she I'm assuming she's noticed the change.
She has. I've gotten more like patient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've gotten a lot more patient. I'm able to talk now, because before, when we get in fights, I would just check out and just fucking leave the house, fucking all day type shit. You know, just go on a drive all the way to San Diego and come back type shit.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Damn, how was that?
Especially it was like during the pandemic. That's when it was bad, bro.
What happened that made you drive to San Diego?
To be honest with you, I can't even fucking remember, dude. It was just a thing where I couldn't go anywhere because I'm unvaxxed. You know what I mean? So it was like I couldn't go anywhere in LA, and this is how I guess it was when I was in my 20s, when I was living with my parents. When I want to get away and none of my friends could kick it, I would just drive.
Damn.
Drive for hours, dude.
I get that.
Yeah, and that was just one of the things. I would just literally just drive all the way down to fucking San Diego, just not even get out of the car. Just drive down there and drive right back.
Damn.
Yeah, man. So it was just like I was a psycho like that, dude. I would completely close off.
You know what? I don't think that's psychotic. I think that is something where you have trouble expressing yourself. And part of that is the industry, too.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, in the acting world, in the film world, TV world, if somebody does something that upsets you, what's the one thing you can't do?
Get upset back.
Exactly. You can't just be like, hey, go fuck yourself. Like, that's not something you're allowed to do on a film set. Dude. You will be ostracized. You'll be fucked. In comedy, if somebody comes for you and you don't say anything back, people lose respect for you.
That's true, dude. Damn, I didn't even think about that.
I've dealt with it.
I didn't even think about that.
Because I was in the same position as you. Before comedy, I was very much in the acting world. So when people said things that like would trigger me or upset me, my reaction was to separate myself from the situation. Don't burn bridges. Don't piss anybody off, because that's the world. And then as comedy started, people would come for me and I wouldn't respond, because that's kind of how it was.
Right.
And then after a couple months into it, I was like, yo, I got to stop taking L's.
Yeah.
I just got to stop taking fucking L's, and I got to start responding to some of these fucking people. So I think there is such a difference when you're in that world, that you want to avoid conflict, because conflict equals the end of your career.
Dude, that is so true. I didn't even realize that. Literally, I did, like, because I worked as a PA in film when I first started, dude.
Oh,
and
Jesus, I'm sorry.
Fucking dude, my first show, I got PTSD. I swear to God. And it was the craziest show, bro.
What happened?
You ever see SWAT on CBS?
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's the show.
Damn.
Dude, nothing but 18, 20 hours a day.
Yep.
Fucking late, dude. Night shoots were the worst, because they would do these sequences on the road, and I would literally be on the corner of a road just for fucking 6 hours.
Dude.
At 2 a.m, bro. And like, it's like exactly what you said. You fucking ADs would be fucking berating you, and you would just have to take it.
You just have to take it. Bro, that's crazy to me.
I remember waking up, dude. Like I would have like 4 o'clock call times, and I'd wake up at 3 just in a cold sweat, fucking shooting up, like
afraid that you'd be that you wouldn't make it.
Yeah, dude. And it'd be like I'm like having like an hour and a half to get there, but I was just like, dude, like every day was just fucking. It's like the army. Almost, you know. I mean, I've never done it. I've never been in the military, but a lot of ADs are actually military guys, like Marines and shit.
Yeah, I do know that. I know that they do have a lot of Marine people, and part of that for ADs is because, for people that don't know, assistant directors, part of their job is being a fucking prick. Because if they're not, nothing gets done.
Exactly.
Like, because I've been on sets, I've been in things where the AD was a really nice guy, and we were consistently behind schedule.
Right.
And then when that happens, everyone panics, because now you can't fucking finish it. You only have a finite amount of days you can film. Like, there's a lot of reasons why ADs are pricks. But I always feel bad for PAs, because shit does roll downhill.
Yeah.
And it falls on the head of these PAs who aren't making much money, and they're being berated constantly, and they're the nicest people on set.
Exactly, dude. And that's why I laugh right now what's going on, this whole solidarity thing. Like, that word doesn't mean shit to anyone in Hollywood. It does not mean shit to anyone in Hollywood.
Facts, dude.
If it did, then my experience with film would not be the way it was.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dude, that's such an interesting. That's so true, man. That solidarity shit, especially when the actors when we showed up and we were like solidarity, and I'll say this, we've made it worse. I think actors have made the optics of the strike.
Oh, okay. I
looks worse because we are the girl who's going to play Snow White.
Jesus, what a mess.
She's making it look bad.
I'm seeing so
like,
bad, bro.
Like, because here's the thing. She came out and she was like, if I'm going to wear this iconic heavy dress for 18 hours a day, I better be compensated for every second that it is on streaming. And here's the thing. I agree, but when you come off like such a stuck up pain in the ass person and you are insufferable about it, you know who wants to fight for you? Nobody. Strikes are about optics, and actors have made the optics look kind of shitty.
That's true, actually. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
I've been staying away from this shit, dude. I don't care anymore, man. I really don't.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Not at all, dude.
It's draining. I get that.
Yeah, and I fell in love with stand-up. You know what I mean? And fell in love with doing the podcast and just meeting actually cool people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, you meet a lot more cool people in comedy. That's for sure.
Real people.
Yeah.
Like I can't tell you how many times I was on set. Everyone's like, "Oh, let's collaborate." And you see them on the streets, they don't even look at you.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck, bro?
You know, it's interesting. It's so hit and miss because I've made great friends on set. Like I have really close friends that I've met through doing TV shows or movies, and then you have those other people where it's like I don't really. I'll tell you, this is such an interesting. You know what? It somewhat plays into Catastrophic Love. You know the nicest people I've ever worked with, porn stars.
Yes.
The nicest fucking people I've ever worked with in my life, and they were in the Sterling Affairs with me. That's coming out soon on FX and Disney. And word up, Bob Iger. I appreciate you. Everybody else is hammering Bob Iger. I'm like, he's not a bad guy. He's got to deal with shareholders. You guys don't get it.
Then you come over to my podcast.
My feelings change consistently. That's the one thing consistent with me is change. But anyway, like. Because actors sometimes are so in their head, and they're so. These girls were just having the best fucking time, having a blast, and we're hanging out, and they're cool as hell, and we've stayed friends since. Like that is just interesting to me. I was like, because I don't know a lot about the porn world. Mm-hmm. You know, I haven't really been a part of it. I've met some people in it, but I don't really know them that well. Right. But then I work with these two women who are porn stars and like legit porn stars, and they are just the sweetest people. And then I start talking to other people about it, and they have the same thing. I'm like, of course, the industry that gets the most shit is filled with the nicest fucking people.
I had Teresa Lowe on my podcast, and she was saying the same exact thing.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she was saying how just the difference in same thing, just difference in the industries. She said she met way nicer people. They're more respectful on set. There's no yelling.
Tons of You know
what I mean?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
because you're dealing with people who are really vulnerable.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, seriously. I know it's like, oh well, they do this all the time, but you're still naked and you're still having sex on camera. That's still a vulnerable act. I don't care how many times you've done it.
Right.
We were having we did a simulated sex scene, which I thought was so brilliant by casting for Disney to hire two porn stars to do the three-way with me, because
wait, you worked with them? Like,
yeah, it was
no
me.
Shit.
The scene was me and these. You'll see it on FX Disney when it comes out. We were all three completely naked.
No fucking way, dude.
And we're at a sex party, a Donald Sterling sex party, because that's what the show's about. It's about the Sterling affairs.
Wait, Donald Sterling,
the old Clippers owner?
No way, dude. Ed O'Neill. Are you Donald Sterling?
No, Ed O'Neill is Donald Sterling. Fucking Al Bundy.
Yeah.
The dude from Modern Family. Ed O'Neill is playing him, and then Lawrence Fishburne's going to be Doc Rivers, which is cool.
Damn, that's dope, dude.
Yeah, it was a cool
guy,
show.
By the way. I worked with him. He's an awesome guy. Yeah, and Blackish.
I never met Fishburne.
Dude,
I didn't.
Awesome.
I
He came up to me.
Oh, really?
He came up to me. Yeah, I was like a new face on set, and this is before the pandemic. But he came up to me, dude, and he was like, "Hey, I'm Lawrence." I'm like, "What the fuck? I know who you are."
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, man. He's like, "It was a pleasure having you on set."
That's
great
killer.
guy. Yeah, great guy.
So I'm doing this scene, and we're doing a sex party. So there's this big circle couch in the middle of the living room, and they have like 40 to 60 extras surrounding the circle couch. And on the middle of the circle couch, me and the two porn stars are having a simulated three-way. the amount of horrified that I was before this happened.
Holy fuck.
Because, like, the way it was pitched to me from my representation was totally different than what it was. They're like, oh, there's a party. They're going to turn the lights on. It's going to be, like, just for a second. And, like, that's all the nudity there's going to be. Then I show up, and they're like, okay, so here's these porn stars, Nicole Aria, Maisie Myers. You're going to be doing a 3-way scene with them on this couch. And I'm like, you know, you don't want to come off like a fucking punk. Yeah. So I'm like, sounds great. Let's do it. I'm good. Let's go. On the inside, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to see my penis?
They're porn star, dude.
Yeah.
But they're porn stars.
Yeah, which means they've seen much better dicks than mine by like every day. They like wake up on Tuesday to better dick than I got. So I'm fucking terrified. But the cool thing is, and why I think it was so smart they hired porn stars, they couldn't have been more they're like, we're not even actually having sex. Like, this is a walk in the park and then some for them. This is nothing. So I'm like, I was put more at ease by the fact that they were like just having a ball and just having the best time with it. Because other actors that weren't in porn would have likely been more self-conscious.
Right.
And been like, oh, geez. And then it's also nice for me because not to downgrade the Me Too movement, but I know that the porn stars aren't going to come back from 10 years from now and be like, oh, something happened that might not have happened. You know what I mean? Their story's not going to suddenly fucking change. Which is, I'm just saying, that's a thing that happens. I mean, we can get into Danny Masterson a little bit if we want to. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, dude.
Actually, let's get into that because that falls a little bit into the show. Not really, but we'll get into it because I'm just curious what your thoughts are. Danny Masterson, 30 years, convicted, sentenced to 30 years in prison for 2 rapes that happened 20 years before the trial. During the trial in November, the AP released that there were inconsistencies in the stories with the 2 women, so that the prosecution had shifted their focus from the actual rapes to Danny's involvement with the Church of Scientology.
Wait, what?
I think that's an interesting thing to note. I think it's an interesting point to put out there. I didn't know that. Yeah, that was from November 2022 from the AP. I read that as soon as the verdict came out because I, like most people, when the verdict came out, was like, well, they must have found something.
Right.
But now I'm hearing there's inconsistencies in the stories from 20 years ago, and they're not really things aren't really matching up. So they shifted focus to the Church of Scientology. That made me go, wait, what? I don't really get what's happening here.
Right.
But to my knowledge, I mean, 30 years, I feel like the guy must have done something.
100%.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is. I mean, I didn't know about the Scientology shit. I thought it was just about the rape victims.
I don't know either, man. I'm just telling you and that's the Associated Press that put that out, and they are pretty much untouchable when they just report facts. They don't really spin much.
That's wild, bro. I don't know.
What was your initial reaction when you saw 30 years though? Because 30 years,
that's a lot.
That was
for something that happened 20 years ago.
And like Bill Cosby's out, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
but then again, it could just be optics. You know what I mean? Like they say 30 years, and then maybe this dude in like 5 years gets out. You know,
it could be that. I mean, I think
it's like a retrial.
I think it's kind of hurt the argument of white privilege, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Danny Masterson gets 30 years for 2 rapes that happened 20 years ago.
Yeah,
with inconsistencies in the story. I don't know. I think it's clear that the justice system is weaponized, and that it really doesn't like Scientology.
100%.
So
100%.
I don't know. I think that's an interesting thing. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Right.
So I don't know what happened with Danny Masterson and these 2 girls. For all my knowledge, he could have very well raped them. I'm not sure.
Right.
I wasn't there. But he was convicted, and he was sentenced to 30 years. It was, and then I saw the video that's going viral right now of him on a show with Conan, I think.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
It's like, my name's Danny Masterson. You want to see my balls?
Yeah.
Like, and then Conan's
I've heard
about you. It's like, okay.
Well, you're going to get caught soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe there was something going on. It's hard to know.
Well, just even like the whole Ashton Kutcher Mila Kunis thing too, right?
Right.
Like that was a little weird how they wanted him to give him a lighter sentence.
Yeah, they both wrote letters.
Right.
Asking for leniency to Danny Masterson, and now they've had to apologize for that.
Exactly.
And say that we stand with victims, which I think it's okay that they apologized. I hated the celebrities that came after them.
Oh,
after Kutcher and Kunis, because they're just writing letters about their friend that they've known since they were teenagers. Right? Like they met Danny Masterson, I think Mila was like 15.
She was 14.
14 when they met. And Ashton was 17, something like
19,
that. 19.
19.
They were teenagers when they met this guy. Right. So they've known him for a really long time, and they wrote a letter about the person that they know. Mm-hmm. Now, look, that doesn't mean that he didn't do anything wrong. because people, monsters are among us. They hide among us. We know that. But I think it's so interesting that they were attacked for that. When in reality, it's like, would you not write a letter for your friend?
Right.
Like, they're like, no, you have to stand with the victims. It's like, well, hold on. They've known this guy for 20 plus years. Yeah. They've been friends with him for a really long time. They didn't say he didn't rape anybody. They said, this is how I see Danny Masterson, which I thought was fine. If they want to apologize for that, that's cool. But celebrities that came after Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, it felt to me like they were being opportunistic to virtue signal.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that bothers me.
Yeah, 100%. For anyone who virtue signals is just looking for attention.
Yeah, look how good of a person I am.
Yeah, exactly.
I stand with the victims, but you don't know the fucking person that's being...
And then it comes out 15 years later that person did some fucking shitty shit while they were saying that.
Right? Oh, man, the older I get, the more I realize that, like, people who go out of their way to act like they're really good people are usually the biggest pieces of shit.
The worst people. Yeah. The worst, dude.
Like the people who like own charities.
Oh my gosh,
They usually end up being the people with like a giant house that's paid for by the charity.
Exactly.
As we look up in the hills and see the Black Lives Matter mansion up in the fucking hills next to my place.
You hear about the cousin got caught for coke?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he spent like fucking like $1 million or some shit on like coke, hookers, alcohol, all this stuff. This was like a year ago.
$1 million?
Something like that. Something crazy. Yeah, I think it was even more.
Holy fuck, dude.
Yeah, dude. He went to jail for some weird shit. I don't know.
That's crazy.
But that whole thing was fucking weird, dude.
Holy shit.
Thing. Yeah.
Wow. So that's all very intriguing. I want to switch gears a little bit and kind of bring it back to the point of the podcast. Oh, it's like fucking around. So like, I feel like people are appreciating the conversation either way, right?
Absolutely.
But I do want to get into the relationship side of things because you told a story today that I can't get out of my head. We were at a mic together about a New Year's Eve hookup that happened in a parking garage, and I gotta just know the full story. Where were you?
So this is downtown Las Vegas. I think it was New Year's Eve.
Oh, baby, Las Vegas.
Downtown, not even just like regular like Las Vegas. This is downtown Las Vegas, bro.
So like Fremont Street?
Yep.
Nice.
That's where shit gets fucking really ratchet, dude.
Oh, hell yeah.
Especially back then. This was like...
little golden nugget, baby.
Yeah, there you go, dude. The El Cortez, dude. That was my stomping grounds, bro.
Let's go.
But yeah, so it was like... I forget what year it was starting. I think it was going into 2014, but we're partying and everything. It hits midnight, and we go up to a bar that we always go to, and literally one of my homies, Omar, introduces me to a girl. It's super loud in there. Everyone's partying. Everyone's drunk. It's fucking New Year's, and literally the girl just asked me something. I couldn't hear her, so I was like, "Do you just want to go out and talk?" Won't lie.
Now, how did he introduce you? Was he like, this is my boy Jesse Tugas, or was he like, this is the most big dick Filipino you're ever gonna meet? Like, what? Like, did he try to hype you up, or was it like?
He was just like, this is my boy Tugi, because I was like,
Tugi, I love it.
And yeah, dude, I literally, fucking 5-10 seconds in, I was just like, let's just go. I can't hear you. And we walk out, and we're out of the bar. And we're just, I don't know what happened because I was super drunk, but for some reason I was like, let's just go to the parking garage. Mm-hmm. And I walk her to the parking garage, and all I remember was just hooking up with her. One thing leads to another. I can cuss on this. I can get explicit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. She fucking starts sucking my dick. I can't get hard. I tried putting in her unhard. It wasn't hard. So she starts sucking my dick again. And bro, I take out my phone with the Snapchat and turn the flash on.
Jesus Christ.
I'm a scum, bro. I'm scum.
Oh
no! The flash was on, bro.
Did she stop? Did she have
She had to
be aware.
She got more into it, bro.
She realized it was a performance.
Hey man, when the camera's on you, some people, when the camera's on you, you just go to work, dude.
God damn it! If I wouldn't do the same fucking thing she did, I'm just being honest with you. If I was eating somebody out and they turned and I felt the light on, I'm like, oh, lights, camera, action, let's get. Exactly. Like, I'm dead serious. I would have been the same fucking. Exactly. I guess I'm a hoe too. Like, what the fuck? I see her. I get where she's at.
But we did it in the grossest spot of the Ogden. It was this place called the Ogden parking lot. It's like a high rise, but we were in the parking lot. And there was this one corner where literally everyone would go to pee. Everybody. And that is where we go. That's where we go. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, it was so gross.
Oh, that's so great, dude.
Like I said too earlier today, my fucking truck was in the parking lot, but for some reason I said,
so you were like, I'm not even going to take you in the truck. Yeah, no. We're going to the P corner.
We're going to the P corner, bro.
Savage, Toogie. Toogie the Savage here on Catastrophic Love. Oh my God. Okay, so you were like, fuck car sex. We're doing dirty parking lot structure sex. Which, by the way, it's a little, like, that's kind of hot in and of itself. Like, dirty stuff can be fucking hot. Like, it just is. Yeah,
of course.
Like, if you want to fuck in a bathroom, like, I will say this. Shout out the Misfit in Santa Monica. That's the best place. But if you want to fuck in a bathroom, sometimes going to a dirtier bathroom, it's more intriguing because you're like, we might. So I don't know. It's nice to look at handwriting on the wall while it's happening. I don't know. It's just something about it. It turns people on. It turns me on. I think it's okay. So you're in the parking garage. Did you end up climaxing? Was there finish? No, it was just like,
I couldn't even get hard, bro.
So how did it end?
It ended with, I think, me just zipping up and leaving, from what I remember.
And then she just was like,
and then she was, yeah, I don't remember ever seeing her again.
Walked off.
Don't remember. It was a thing where we had to rock down a ramp, and I think I was just in front of her the whole time so people wouldn't see us, because and I meet up with my friends, and all of them were like, what the fuck were you, dude?
Yeah.
And I told them to check their fucking Snapchat, and my homie fucking Czar and fucking Jordan Hattar, bro, their faces when they saw, and it was funny too, because
so you sent your Snapchat of her sucking your dick to all your friends,
all my homies,
but it was soft.
It was soft. It was completely soft. So one of the homies, my homie Czar, wasn't with us. He was, like, I think in the bathroom, and then I told my friend Jordan to look at his Snapchat, and he starts laughing, and then Czar comes back. He doesn't know, and he's like, oh shit, it's Toogie. Toogie's here. And then all of us were like, just like, dude, check your Snapchat. And he looked at it, and the fucking look on his face, dude, was just disgusting.
Oh.
It was disgusting. And then fucking we realized that this chick had a little bit of a mustache. Like the cat whiskers, bro.
Oh, no. Was she white or what?
She's white.
She was white? Okay. White with the cat whiskers. Yeah. Now I'm seeing it in my brain. Blonde hair.
Absolutely.
Black
super
hair.
Heavy. Like a dirty blonde.
Dirty blonde. Super heavy.
Super heavy.
Cat whiskers. White girl.
Not the heaviest I've had, but kind of heavy.
Ballpark it. Where are we? 200?
190.
190.
Let's give her the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Hey, listen, Lizzo's a thing, so being big isn't a problem anymore. It's just the way it is, man. I've seen the Victoria's Secret ads, the new ones. It's multicultural and plenty of obesity to go around. So, what is sexy anymore? We don't know.
We don't know. Maybe mustache.
Right? Maybe that's the next thing, dude. Mustache matters. Like, that's going to be a thing where, like, women, you no longer have to wax your mustache, so women will just be walking around with whiskers all the time, wondering why they're not getting laid. Why are guys paying attention to me? They're just shallow. They don't like my mustache. That's where we're heading.
It is.
We're heading towards that. Because, and by the way, that's an incredible story. Like, that's an incredible story.
Thank you. Yeah.
But I want to. But since we've delved into this a little bit, I saw the new Victoria's Secret thing the other day. Did you see it?
I didn't see it.
It's very multi. I'll put it up on the podcast if you're watching the video. It's very multicultural, which is great, and it's multi-body type, which is also great. You have you have some beautiful women, and then you have I guess what is beautiful? You have some thin women, and then you have like one that's looks like Lizzo a little bit,
right?
And then you have one that's like clearly trans and all that stuff.
No way, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. It's every single cultural thing that you could hit, and you could hit it. And then you look 10 years ago, because that's why it's going viral, because 10 years ago it was like all super thin, well-toned white women with like one black woman in the thing, and that was all the representation that was there. It was like 5 white women.
Usually light-skinned too.
Yeah, and I can't remember if she was light-skinned or not, but she was one black woman and like 5 white women, all very toned, very thin, very fit, and they're all like smiling and everything. And then this new one is just like it looks like. Did you ever watch the show Fat Albert?
Yeah.
Okay, you remember those guys? Like they were all different sizes. Yeah. Like it just all the friends. They were all like one's really tall, one's really short, one's really fat. That's exactly what it was. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like Fat Albert, Victoria's Secret.
And it's not even like it's unattractive, but it's like it's unhealthy, bro. Like, let's just be real.
That's a part of it. It is unhealthy.
It's very unhealthy to want to get that big. I will be honest right now.
And I was bringing this up earlier today at Fourth Wall about Lizzo and her backup dancers being upset because she asked them to lose weight and all that stuff. But like the Lizzo shows, Lizzo doesn't dance. She just like walks out and she sings and she does all that. So you have all these women who are very large because it wasn't enough, right? It wasn't enough just to have one large woman. They're like, no. We have to be a champion for large women. We got to get a bunch of large women. So they get all these large women, and then they have them do these huge dance routines every single night. Right. And if you've ever been on any kind of tour, it is draining, right? Absolutely, you're traveling all the time. It's physically exerting. And then they're up there, and I'm like, their joints have to be killing them.
100%.
So they're upset about their working conditions. It's like, yeah, but of course, it's going to, like you said, it's unhealthy.
Super unhealthy, dude.
So if they're up there and they're dancing every single night, I mean, what do you want from them? They're probably going to be hurting a little bit.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah. 100%.
So how do we, I don't know, do you think it's too far gone? Do you think society comes back at some point to saying being physically fit is the right way?
That one, I have no idea. The whole, everything is beautiful now. Like, that's just weird. You know what I mean? Because it's not that it's not beautiful, like I said. I think everyone has...
Except for men.
Yeah, exactly.
For men, there's still a very specific, no, if you look like this, you suck kind of thing. Like, for men, it's not that way. But for women, yes, everything's beautiful.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't know, man. It's just, they're going too far with this unhealthy stuff. Like, they've rose, like, what overweight is now. You know what I mean? Like,
I saw that.
Right? Like, BMI, right? The body mass index or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's completely different now. Like, 20 years ago, if you were fucking like 5 pounds, 10 pounds overweight, you had to lose. The doctor would encourage you to lose weight.
Yeah.
Now you can be fucking 500 pounds, and no one's gonna give a shit.
They'll give you your own reality show,
dude. And the thing is that those people get fucking what's it called? Disability money.
They do.
They get anywhere from like $2,500 up to $5,000, depending on how disabled they are.
I heard that,
dude. $5,000.
Yeah.
And like these are in places where like the rural areas of like, you know, I don't know, Alabama.
Yeah,
where you don't need $5,000.
Where $5,000 a month goes huge.
Yeah, dude, and all they're doing is they're spending on fast food, and then they're like, I've seen episodes of My 600-Pound Life where they're like strong holding their partner, right? They'll be like, like the partner will do everything for them, clean them, give them showers, make their food, and then when it's all said and done, the fucking obese person will be like, I financially take care of you. You don't do anything for me. I give you everything. And it's just like, dude, they're strongholding them with the finances of the taxpayers. That's what pisses me the fuck off. Because I've seen other people who are disabled and they don't get shit. Yet these motherfuckers are encouraged by the disability money to go out and just get more food because they can't get jobs.
No. That's why they get disability, because they can't physically work. Holy fuck, man.
Yeah, man.
So, Jesse, talk to me about My 600-Pound Life, because I haven't really watched this show. I've heard you reference it before, but I'm so curious by it because it intrigues me. Obviously, obesity used to be an issue in this country, and then just decided one day it's not an issue anymore. Remember when obesity was like America's biggest problem, and then suddenly one day it's like, no, you're the problem. It's like, what the fuck just happened? So what is it? What is My 600-Pound Life like?
So it's basically that just these people who are obese, and then like maybe they're tired of the way their lifestyle is, or a family member or their significant other is tired of the way their lifestyle is, and they want to help. So there's this doctor out in Houston that specializes in this. Basically, they have to lose an X amount of weight in like X amount of months, and if they do that, the doctor will approve them for a gastric like bypass. No, not bypass. It's like they put like a
the little ring thing?
Yeah, exactly, on the stomach, so they can't eat. But
I don't remember what it's called either, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
But that's basically it. And then they just go through like the trials and tribulations of, you know, and some of them are only actually like out of the 10 seasons that they have, I would say maybe about 5 to 10% are actually successful in losing the weight.
I would think yeah.
Obviously, like, I'm being a little harsh here. A lot of them do have like mental issues and trauma that they experience. You know what I mean? When they were children.
Yeah.
One of the main things was obviously like a lot of them were raped and molested as kids. But still, dude, like their excuse for it is like, so I started eating so I thought I'd get stronger. You know what I mean? And I get it. You know what I mean? Like some traumatic shit happens to everybody, but don't go out there and make yourself unhealthy, dude. Like, you got to find a healthy outlet for that kind of stuff.
Every person with an addiction, whether it's food, heroin, alcohol, there's always a reason.
Always.
There's always a trauma behind it. And I've had my traumas. I think that we all handle it differently.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't use it as an excuse.
No, never.
There's a saying when you start therapy, it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Because your life is your responsibility.
Right, 100%.
You can't just continuously blame people. I think especially once you hit 30.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like once we hit 30, like mom and dad, they did what they could. You've been on your own for 10 years. Get your shit together.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
once you hit 30, I feel like the time to start keep blaming your parents or blaming your upbringing or blaming your childhood trauma. It's like, no, follow David Goggins on fucking Instagram. Start doing some pull-ups. And let's get it, motherfucker. Like, dude, let's go.
Honestly, bro. Honestly. Because it's just unhealthy, man. It's so bad.
Yeah. And that sucks. It sucks to see that. And I always wonder too, because I've dated people where it's so far the other way. Like I dated this girl where she was so obsessed with losing weight and so obsessed with being healthy that she would have workout injuries consistently.
No kidding.
Because she would work out 3 times a day.
Holy shit.
Like she'd do a training session with her trainer in the morning, and then she'd do like weightlifting stuff in the afternoon, and then she would run the elliptical at night. And then she's like, "Oh, my body hurts." And I'm like, "Well, no shit. Yeah. Your body has to recover." So there's it's not just a fight against obesity, it's a fight against being unhealthy, because that to me is not equally as unhealthy, but it's still unhealthy as shit, because you're hurting yourself trying to get these muscles and this body that you think is you can attain, and you don't want patience for it. You just want it right now. And it's like, man, there's got to be a balance, bro. And I see that in dating and relationships all the time where there's no balance. Like, you know, those people, right. I got a buddy right now. I won't say his name. We'll call him T-Dog.
T-Dog.
T-Dog is one who likes to disappear into relationships.
Yeah.
You know those guys where, like, when they're single, they hit you up all the time.
And you're with them 24/7.
All the time, dude. And they're always making plans, like hanging out and stuff. And then when they get into a relationship, they break all the plans and you don't see them ever. Ever. That can't be healthy.
I've been guilty of that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been guilty of that. This one, me and my girlfriend first started dating, that was it was kind of good, though, because I actually was living out here, so I didn't really have any friends.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I just moved out here, and, like, within 2 months, I had met my girlfriend.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And how long have you lived here?
7 years.
7 years. So you guys met right after you got here, and you just never strayed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, good for you.
And it was crazy because, like, she literally lived across, like, the apartment right across from me. So, like, every morning we'd see each other on our balcony.
That's awesome.
Shit. Yeah.
Dude, what? This is like a beautiful love story.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And then it was like one of those things where we like.
How did you initially start the romantic part of it?
Well, we started hanging out and stuff like that, and then I'm not gonna lie. So she's 9 years younger than me.
Nice. Notice how I was getting all like sentimental and like everything was like so sweet, and then I'm just nice.
Yeah, dude. You're the first comedian I've told.
Really?
Yeah, because she looks and acts so much just like older than her age.
Yeah, so that makes her what, like mid-20s?
25.
25, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Got her after she turned 18, just so we're clear. I'm not.
7 years. Uh-oh. So Groomer Tugas on this podcast today. Wow.
Yeah.
So she's really mature then.
Dude, it's insane. Like, she told me she was 18, I didn't believe it.
Yeah. I wouldn't have believed it either.
No, I didn't. And I was 27 at the time.
You thought she was older.
What? Yeah.
Usually when someone says they're 18, I'm like,
Yeah, no, I thought she was older, dude. I thought she was like maybe at least at 21, 22.
Wow.
Yeah, but just because her personality and stuff like that, you know?
I think the boarding school thing probably did create some independence and some understanding of who she is, because that's a very well-developed teenager.
And the thing, dude, is like she was in boarding school in France, and her mom and dad, I think, or her whole family, I think the last year or two of her high school at the boarding school, they moved to San Francisco. Ooh. So she didn't have anybody.
Shit.
So like maybe like every weekend she would go see her grandparents in Britain, you know what I mean? But that's all she had.
Was there a reason she went to boarding school? Was it like, because my mom always used to threaten to send me to boarding school like as a punishment?
You know, I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure what it was, because she was the only one out of her 2 other siblings that went to a boarding school, I believe. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure what that was. I think maybe it was a thing where You know, I actually don't want to misspeak, but I don't know.
Okay, I don't want to overstep. Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah, I never asked. That's a good question. Maybe I should fucking find
out like
what
was the conversation like? Because I'm just curious, like, well, why?
Yeah.
So okay, you guys met. She's 18 years old. You're 25, 27.
27.
That's
27,
right.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're 27. She's 18. Thank God, because otherwise this podcast we'd have to start editing. What was the moment that things shifted from we're neighbors to we're together?
What do you mean? Like, what was the...
Well, like, you guys started out as neighbors, right? That's how you knew each other. What was the moment where did you start to pursue her? Did she pursue you? Where did that go from we're neighbors to a romantic relationship?
So I like, after like 2 months in, I knew I had feelings for her the first time we hung out, but because she was so young, I was just like, nope, I'm not going to do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then it was just so easy to see her. I saw her every day, dude. Wow. You know what I mean? Like she came over every day. We would just hang out, and fucking within maybe 2 or 3 months, I was pursuing her, but she was like, no, like, I don't, like, she didn't want to turn another friend into like a relationship kind of style. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I was just like, okay, whatever. And then when I finally kind of like let back and like wasn't pursuing it, that's when she started pursuing me.
Oh.
Yeah.
There we go.
So maybe about like 2-3 months in, and then ever since like it started getting romantic, we just never left each other's side.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a great story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's good advice for, I think, any man that's trying to pursue somebody and it's not working. Back off.
Yeah.
Because it is one of those things where I think when you pursue someone, sometimes it could come off a little bit too much, and that it's intimidating, especially for a girl who's 18 years old, right?
And I
like,
think that's what happened for her.
Yeah.
I think her seeing that, me pursuing that, she was just like, I'm not gonna, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because there's pressure.
You're right.
And then once you stop pursuing, like, she knows the interest is there.
Yeah.
But now that you're not pursuing, she doesn't feel pressure, and she can kind of come to you.
Yeah.
I think that's the right way to play it. I think that's normally how I play it. However, I do it probably in a more manipulative, shitty way, where I call it the push-pull tactic. It's God.
The push-pull tactic. I gotta hear this.
An ex gave me the name for that because she was like, "You do this push-pull with me, and I fucking hate it." And I was like, "I do that. It's because it maintains interest." It does. They maintain interest because you do is you come on a little strong, let them know, and then pull it back. And then they start to wonder why. And if they start to, and then they go, well, there's something wrong with me. Well, I mean, there's something wrong with him. So now that they don't have it, they're like, well, now I kind of want it.
Right.
Because that's how the human brain works.
Right.
Right. And look, a well-developed, like well put together, healthy person probably wouldn't respond really well to that the way that I do it. But well put together, mentally healthy people is not my thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm not one of those. Like when I'm around somebody who's really well put together, like mental health wise, and like they have their shit together, you know that it does nothing for me.
Right.
I need borderline personality disorder at a minimum just to even fucking function in a relationship. So that push-pull thing, it works just because that's how the human brain works. But there's also, I think, a nice component to that where you aren't overwhelming somebody, because the worst thing, and the thing that guys don't do a lot of things to make me cringe. I think girls complain way too much about men and how they are because women are the fucking worst too. Like, yeah, we're bad. You're fucking right here with us. I'm dead serious, okay? You know how many female comics I know that are just waiting to quit the day that some rich guy marries them?
No shit, dude.
They're just waiting for that rich guy. And you know what? You know who doesn't have that option? Me.
Yeah.
And that's upsetting. Yeah. So it's like, I know rich women exist, but they ain't looking for me. Promise that. They're looking for someone in a much better situation.
You ever try this sugar mama thing?
No.
No?
I just can't do it. I can't get into it.
Is it because they're older?
I think it's because it would get in my head a lot about my looks. You know what I mean? Like, my looks aren't something I really care that much about. And if I had a sugar mama, I would think it was majority because of my looks.
I see.
Then I would obsess over it a little bit, and I would spend too much time in the gym. I would focus too much on what I'm eating. Everything I would do would be for my looks, because I'd feel like that was my identity. And that would really upset me.
Really?
So that's, I think, the big reason why I've never really gotten into the sugar mama thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that guys do that makes me cringe is when they get the rejection and then they keep going.
That's me.
And then they get the rejection again.
And they keep going.
And they keep going. And then they get like it's hard to watch, dude. But you do that.
I used to. You know what I mean? Like it's so hard now to figure out who I was when I was single because I've been in a relationship for so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're a totally different person than you were 7 years ago. Everyone is.
Yeah, and the thing is that I always tell my girl, like, if we were to break up, don't think I would ever date again. I don't, because she is literally the perfect woman, dude. She is so, like, she's got everything together.
Yeah. And
she helps me a lot with my trauma.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of my problems with life. She's so just grounded.
That's awesome,
dude.
Man.
I don't know why it was me that got someone like her. I really don't. Really do not understand how I got so lucky, dude. Because I was a scumbag. Like, I joke about it a lot. I grew in Vegas. I joked about it today where I didn't get any pussy. I got pussy. You know what I mean? It's Vegas. I was like, I would pursue, like, it was the thing where if a girl said no, I would literally look at her friend and start hitting on her. And if she said no, I'd look at the other friend. And I would just I'd go to the friend until it was like the worst. Like, I would start with a 10 and then end up with like a 3.
You go right down the ladder.
Yeah.
Right down the ladder.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like, that was like just like a technique I would have. Of course, and like it worked most of the time. And I was like, you know, the homie who was like, I'll take one for the team. I'll do the fatty. You know,
yeah, fall on the grenade.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah. I was like, I'm the perfect wingman back then, you know. But like, I don't know where I was going with this, but
so what did she see in you?
I have no idea, bro.
So let me ask this, because I think this is a very interesting question, and I love this conversation. Mm-hmm. The scumbag part.
Yeah.
Did that end before you met her, or was it after? Or did you meet her and you were like, you know what? This is a really good person and a really grounded person, and these don't come around very often. I should get my shit together.
It happened like a few years into our relationship because I have like, what's it called, like abandonment issues. Mm-hmm. I always feel like people will just at any time would just get up, pack their shit, and leave me.
Gotcha.
That was me like my whole life. I don't know why, because my parents are together. You know what I mean? That never really happened to me before, but just in my head, it was hard for me to trust people to think that they would want to be with me, the real me, for so long. So I think it was like 3-4 years in where I was just like, holy shit, like, and I never cheat on her, you know what I mean? I would text other girls, you know what I mean? But I would never like physically went out and cheat on her.
Yeah.
Like, it'd even be a thing where I went back home, and she knows this story, but like I was at this chick's fucking like apartment complex, like to get in her fucking like this was like the first year we were dating, but I was at her like gate.
Yeah.
And thank God I called her, and it was a dude that picked up, so I left. You know, I don't know how she found out, my girlfriend now. I don't know how she found out, but she should have left me. You know what I mean? But that's the closest I ever been to like physically cheating on her. But I don't know, dude. Things.
So you didn't tell her about that? She found out?
Yeah, I think it was because of like I hit the girl up on Facebook or some shit, and then she went on my Facebook, and my girlfriend saw that I hit her up. I called her all this stuff. But she stayed with me after that, dude. And obviously, like, texting other chicks or whatever, like, girls I would meet on set and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She found out. But to be honest with you, I don't know why. I really don't know why. She loves me, obviously. You know what I mean? But I don't know why she picked me. I don't know why she stayed with me for this long. You know what I mean? Because there were so many times where I thought it'd be over.
Damn, man. That's wild.
Yeah. But it's all her, bro. I'm telling you, like, it's literally all her. She is my rock.
So it took years for her to kind of, I don't want to say change you, but for you to develop into the relationship.
To develop to where I was like, okay, she's not going to leave me.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And that's where kind of like I felt like just my mind started shifting and be like, this chick she's a real one. She wants to be with me. And she sees her whole life with me. You know what I mean? And that for me was, I don't want to say it was a hard pill to swallow, but it was just weird knowing the fact that for the first time ever in my life, it felt like I had finally one person who loved me unconditionally. Like my parents do, I know they do, but we had, like, me and my parents had, it was rough when I was growing up, especially like in the high school and like my early 20s, super rough.
Yeah.
Super fucking rough, dude. And with her just always being there, always like when I would get angry and want to push her away, she was just so loving, dude.
Wow.
And I don't know why, dude. She's just a very loving, nice person. And I can see it with her whole family. Her parents are one of the most patient. They're loving. You know what I mean? Every time I've gone there to France twice, but every time I go, they have like the perfect relationship.
Wow.
And I think that's where she gets it from. Like, you can tell that her dad loves her mom loves her dad, like, equally. And super unconditional, dude. Like, I was fat at one point in the 7 years, didn't say anything about it. You know what I mean? Like, not fat, but I was gaining weight, didn't say anything about it. During the pandemic, I was drinking a lot. I became more aggressive. I never beat her or anything like that, but I would yell at her and shit like that. Yeah. And she stayed with me through all that, bro. And, like, now, it's just weird, man. It's just weird. Like, now I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, I have to get my life together because now I have something to want to do. Like, I can see myself having a family with her. You know what I mean? And, like, now everything's changing now, especially, again, with the stand-up. Everything's changing, dude. Like, I'm thinking different. Like, I was an atheist coming into LA.
Yeah.
And now I'm growing a relationship with God. I know this sounds weird, but it's like...
Do you think the relationship with God's helping you bond closer with your relationship with her?
Bro, so check this out. 2 weeks ago, I had Luke Walls on my podcast. I did a post on the Instagram, and I was like, does anybody know a Christian comic? Because I was going through... My girlfriend was in Alabama at the time. This is literally 2 weeks ago. And I was just going through a whole bunch of shit, like seeing the evil in the world, and I just needed someone to talk to. So I got Luke on the podcast, and he gave me recommendations of books. So I ordered the books, started reading them, and when my girlfriend came back, bro, the next day we were having coffee, because that's the thing that we do in the morning. We like to have coffee together and just talk about the day, talk about each other. I said it. I was just like, dude, I think I'm going to start building this relationship with God, bro. And she said the same fucking thing that morning, bro. And I was just like, me and her just kind of took a step back and was like, maybe this God thing is like what we need to really focus on. Not jump into it head first, you know what I mean? But build that trust with him. And I don't know what it was, dude. I don't know how we came to that conclusion because we never really talked about it. Never really talked about it at all. Like she knows me. Like like I said, I was an atheist. I grew up Catholic, but I've been an atheist since I was 18.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't believe in that shit. I believed that there was a God at one point, but I was just like, there's no religion's bullshit. And then this was fucking last Monday, bro.
And this sounds like something that was gradual, right? It wasn't like an all at once thing.
Yeah, it was gradual. It started for me during the pandemic, man. The whole vaccine thing, and I was just seeing all the evil, seeing how people like the abortion thing. I was like, this is weird, dude. This is really weird. I'm not gonna go into religion or anything, but this is weird. There's evil in the world. And then some shit happened while she was gone. Like one morning, I went to go fucking to the Chase Bank to like take out money to go to the dispensary and buy weed. And this is kind of why I kind of stopped smoking. Then this dude would just fucking wanted to fight me. Like he was getting money. I was out on the fucking street, not paying attention to him because I know how trippy people can get if someone's standing behind them at an ATM.
Yeah.
So I was minding my own business, and as we were walking past each other, he says some shit to me, and I was gonna let it go. This is like 8 a.m, bro. I was gonna let it go, and I was like, "What'd you say?" And this dude just kept yapping. He was like, "If next time, don't stand behind me and shit like that." I was like, "Well, maybe next time you tell me when you see it, not while you're walking away where we can't fix it." I was being cordial.
Yeah.
And the dude fucking gets out of his car, starts walking up towards me, and I did jujitsu. Right, and I did jujitsu with cops, so I know how far I can go until I have to do my jujitsu type shit.
Yeah.
And I took a step back. I said, "Listen, bro, I feel threatened. If you keep coming towards me, I'm gonna have to fucking protect myself." Kept coming. I said, "Okay, this is the last warning." I took another step back. If you come at me again, I will have to fucking protect myself. And he stopped, but started calling me all these racial slurs, all these crazy shit. Dude, and he had a turban on. You know what I mean? Yeah, but not that mattered, but he just was going off on me.
So he was Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then fucking, like out of nowhere, he was just like, and you know, doing stand up. Like as he was leaving, he was like, "You better watch out next time. You might run into someone who's gonna fuck you up." And I was laughing. I was like, "That definitely ain't gonna be you, bro." You know what I mean? But
holy shit!
It was just that moment to where I was just like, "There's an evil in the world, dude." Because it wouldn't have been worth it for me to get in a fight with him, go to jail, my fucking girlfriend's out of town type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just not worth it.
No, it's not worth it, but it is. I think people have become so sensitive now.
Especially here, bro.
Yeah, especially here, for sure. People have become so sensitive and they become so ready to fight.
Right.
And
because they feel like that's the only way they can get out what they have to say. And it's just like, dude, if you just fucking would have tell me, "Hey, could you not stand there? I feel uncomfortable," I would have waited in my car.
Listen, he's being overly sensitive. I know people get weird when people stand behind. Unless he gets your card and your PIN number and all these, the amount of things you would have to do and have to have in order to actually steal money from him is absurd.
Exactly.
So the idea that he's going to talk some shit while he walks away, which is a bitch move.
Yeah,
by
exactly.
the way.
100%. That's why I said something. I was like,
yeah, it's like don't do that.
No.
I understand being frustrated. You know what, man? The amount of interactions I have that are similar to that are just I don't even bring them up because I think I'm in the wrong in a lot of.
Yeah.
I'll tell one from last week that I feel like I was in the wrong with. I'm walking back from the gym and I'm about to step out at Sunset and Laurel to walk across the street towards the Laugh Factory. And this guy's car, he pulls the car up into the walk lane, almost hits me, and almost runs over my foot.
What the fuck?
And he's in a fucking Jeep. He's just douchebag white guy in a fucking Jeep Wrangler. And I just flicked his window. Like I just give it a big flick.
Yeah.
Just kind of wake him up and be like, "Hey, dickhead.
You're here.
You're here." Like this is a pedestrian walkway. And you just like pulled right into it while people are trying to walk through. It wasn't just me.
Well, that's just different. That's different. Your situation's different. You have all the right to do
He
that.
gets pissed off and like gets out of his fucking car and he's like, "Don't hit my fuck." I'm like, "Are you serious right now?" Because I had just left the gym. I was already all adrenaline up, and I'm like, "You're gonna fucking run somebody over, you piece of fucking shit." I'm like, "Fuck you, you asshole." I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I'm like, "I don't give a shit what's wrong with me. What you want to do about it?" And then he got back in his car and he drove off. And I'm like, "Fuck yeah."
Yeah.
And then I walked away and I was like, that might have been a little bit my fault. There's a way to handle that, and I might have handled it poorly.
No, I think you handled it. I think you handled it just fine, dude. That's completely a car.
Because he almost ran over my foot, and I was like, I get mad when it comes to my physical well-being. Mm-hmm. That's like the only thing that really upsets me. Like you can say whatever you want to me, you can try to
100%.
attack anything about me. I don't get sensitive about that kind of shit. But when it comes to my physical well-being, if that's in any kind of jeopardy, a switch hits for me.
Same here.
It's just a different thing, and things the city's getting more dangerous.
It's crazy out here, dude. It's crazy. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I went to I did it when I was producing stuff. I did a Jack Daniels thing in fucking this place called Lynchburg, Tennessee.
Shit.
And the whole crew was diverse and like LGBTQ, except me. I'm diverse, but
yeah.
And we were all kind of tripped out. The director was like a black female lesbian, and our producer was a Hispanic lesbian, and it was just like
so you're just checking all the boxes.
Yeah, exactly.
All the boxes that Hollywood wants.
Yeah, we were just going to a place called Lynchburg, bro, and
which seems like an unfortunate name for a town in the South. Like I don't want to be a dick and tell people how to fucking live. I'm not one of those people that's like the South is dumb because I think that makes people from LA sound stupid when they say shit like that. Yeah. However, Lynchburg is a strange name for a town in the South, just because of the history. I'm not saying to change it. I'm just making a note that it's a little strange.
Right. But we get there, and we were all obviously kind of tripped out because everyone there is white or whatever.
Yeah.
And we go into like the little town square, and our director, she's getting ice cream, and she's waiting for us or whatever, and this old white dude comes up to her and fucking like nudges her, and all of us were like, oh, fuck, here we go. Dude, wasn't the nicest guy. The nicest guy. He's like, hey, what kind of flavor you got there? And she's like, oh, Rocky Road. And he was just joking with her the whole time. Oh, bro, you can't get that anywhere here, bro.
No.
You cannot get that anywhere here.
Yeah.
You can't.
It's totally different,
You cannot.
Other cities are so much nicer.
It's wild, bro.
I was in Kansas City last weekend. I did a show there. Nicest fucking people.
Right.
All come up to me afterwards. Like I did a show at the Comedy Club Kansas City. Shout out Dustin who owns it, man. That place is fucking killer. I opened for Chris Cope. 150 people. Everybody's having a good time. Everybody's laughing. Great crowd. Great show. Everyone had a fucking blast. After the show, you stand out in the lobby, and they come out and they meet everybody, and they were so fucking nice. And going around the city, everybody's so fucking nice. I'm meeting people that I don't know and all that stuff. And I'm like, man, major cities, people have just gotten really mean.
Yeah.
And they've gotten really harsh.
Yeah.
And LA especially, but I'm sure New York's probably similar.
Yeah, 100%. But like I was born in Hawaii, raised in Las Vegas, and these two places are all about hospitality, all about having a good time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just me. That's just like I'm cordial with everyone. If you make eye contact with me, I'm going to smile. I'm going to say, "Hey, what's up?" You know what I mean? Out here, you don't get any of that, bro.
No.
I've met comics to where it's like I'm sitting down, I'll go get up to say bye to people, and then I'll come back to like just say goodbye to the people that he's sitting around. And like this happened like at the Comedy Store a couple of weeks ago, and the dude just takes my spot and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna sit here," while he's already sitting there, and I didn't mind. I was leaving already, you know what I mean? But I go, "By the way, I'm Jesse." Dude just looked away, and I was like, "What in the fuck is going on in this city, bro?"
That's
like,
so weird.
What the fuck, man?
Was it a comic?
I don't know who he was. I've never seen him before. I'm assuming he was a comic because he knew someone that I was
because of the area. Yeah.
But still, it's just one of those things where it's just like, bro, like, what is this? What happened?
Dude, that's so weird. People suck now. You know what? I think the pandemic was a big part of it.
100%.
Because I've lived in West Hollywood since 2019. And in 2019, West Hollywood was so, like, everybody was so fucking nice.
Shit, dude.
You walk down the sidewalk and you say hi to people. Like, everybody on my street would say hi to each other. I used to live on just off Havenhurst and Santa Monica Boulevard. And it was like everybody knew everybody. We were all friends. Everybody was sweet to each other. Now there's some of that, but I get a lot more of recoil than I do of people being like, oh, hey, how are you? Because I'll still say hi to people when I'm walking down the street in West Hollywood just because, I don't know, it's more of a – I used to live in Koreatown. It wasn't as inviting to me as West Hollywood is.
Okay.
So, like, like when I moved to West Hollywood, I wanted to be, like, nicer to people and have all that. And I'm just getting a lot more recoil now than I was 4 years ago, and I think part of that comes from just the distrust everyone has of each other, and that's the biggest issue, lingering issue from COVID and from the pandemic. Yeah. Because we're talking about a thing that didn't kill that many people, relatively.
Dude, the flu killed more people in 2019 than COVID did.
And notice how the flu didn't kill anybody while COVID was out, right?
0 people.
Because no people. Because everyone, remember that guy died of a motorcycle accident, and they're like, he died from COVID. Because they tested his blood and it had COVID in it.
Well, the hospitals got money for that.
Yeah, they get money for having people, so they just made everything COVID.
Right.
So not that many people died from it. I think the biggest issue that came from COVID was the distrust of each other. And it was one of those things, and you've heard the fucking thing where they take the you take the red ants and the black ants and you put them in a jar. Nothing happens. They're just chilling. You shake the jar up, the red ants and black ants start attacking each other.
Oh, shit.
That's how it works. That's what we do in this world.
Damn. That's a good analogy, bro.
Yeah, well, we're all just sitting around and nobody's thinking about our differences. Then suddenly they shake the fuck out of that jar and all anybody sees is differences. And that's what COVID was that fucking jar. And here's an interesting thing, too. I want to pull back to this because I think you'll find this intriguing because of your fear of abandonment. I also have a fear of abandonment. I think it's a big reason why I have a fear of commitment. I don't want to get invested into relationships because the second I get invested into a relationship, I become a little bit nuts because I'm afraid they're going to leave.
Yeah.
Now, because of that, I've read a lot about this. And there are these studies that they do, and I actually met the doctor who did these studies. It was in Russia. Great guy. I think the media tells us we're supposed to hate all Russians.
I think so. I think that's what they're saying.
Super fucking weird and
we'll
stupid.
Listen to them. They know what they know what's best for us.
Yeah, the media's always we'll just sanction every Russian. Like what the fuck was that? Like we can go into that later. But anyway, that was like the weirdest thing in the world.
That was so weird.
Wouldn't let Russian tennis players compete and shit. Bro. I'm like, what are you fucking crazy?
And then
we didn't do that to United States athletes when we invaded Iraq under false pretenses.
We didn't even do that to Nazis.
Yeah, we didn't.
No, we put them in our government.
Yeah, we took their doctors and put them on our team. Like Jesus, that was so weird that they did that to Russian people for what Putin was doing. Like that was so strange to me. But anyway, they did these studies where they'd have these 3-month-olds come in, and these 3-month-olds had been spending all 3 months of their lives with their mother. The mother goes into a room, puts them in a crib, walks out. One baby will go in, the mother will walk out, and they'll sit there, hang out. Mom comes back 90 seconds later. That's all it was alone for, was 90 seconds. And they'll come back, oh, hey, nothing happened, no big deal. Another baby, mother puts it in the crib, walks out, that baby loses its mind, has a total meltdown, and it's now conditioned and wired for the fear of abandonment for the rest of its life. And we have no idea why. It's one of the big mysteries of the world. Yeah, because you were like, I don't have a reason to have a fear of abandonment. Turns out, the people with a fear of abandonment, we try to find reasons, but fear of abandonment, there are people who have parents they never met and they don't have a fear of abandonment. And there are people who have parents that were in their lives their whole time and they have a crippling fear of abandonment. So there's really no way to know. And it lends, in my brain at least, a bit to a past life theory where like, are we part of reincarnation? Is that real?
Shit.
Are we not carrying baggage the second we enter this world? Again, I don't know.
Right.
But I think it's an interesting concept, and I find it so interesting when people bring up fear of abandonment. I like to bring up that study because it blows my mind.
Right. So it's almost in us. The people who have abandonment issues, just you're born with it.
Yeah. And I'm sure that people who are born with it, who are then also abandoned by a parent figure, have deeper issues. I'm sure of that. Like, I'm sure, because we bring up it's nature and nurture, right? It's partly environmental, it's partly genetic.
Right.
Or what we call genetics could be past lives, could be reincarnation, could be anything. So this idea of, in therapy, you're kind of taught to go back and like look through your life and find out all the reasons you are the way you are. Sometimes you just are, and there's not an explanation, and you just have to kind of fucking deal with it, and it sucks. It's crazy to me. I don't know if there's really an angle to go with on that, but I find that study so fascinating.
That is really weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that would make sense because, like I said, nothing really ever happened to me where anyone left me, dude. Like I said, I have my parents, I have my sister. The only thing that was maybe something traumatic was we moved from Hawaii to Vegas, and I had a whole bunch of family on my dad's side in Vegas, but that I mean, it wasn't even like anything bad.
Yeah.
So that's strange, dude. That's the Russians, bro. Leave it up to the Russians to make this.
Well, the thing is, you got to do real experiments. We don't do real experiments here. We do, because what that experiment taught us was we don't know. And that is not how Americans do experiments.
No.
Americans do experiments of this drug makes this happen, and then we're going to have 30 trials until we find the one that says that we're going to make money.
Yeah.
That's how we do science
and it's
here.
them doing their fucking studies, right? It's like the company doing their own studies.
Oh, yeah. Procter & Gamble's funding the study for the fucking product they own. And they're like, well, all these dentists tell you that you got to brush with this. Like, no, your dentist that you hired and put on fucking payroll say that. That's why if you look at like international studies, Germany does a lot of good studies, and Russia does a lot of good studies. The United States does terrible studies.
Oh, was that you? Okay.
I think that was my mic. I think my mic was falling out there. Sorry about that, guys. It was just for a second. But we'll wrap you up here soon, Jesse, because we keep everything a little bit around an hour. But in the relationship sense, you have what appears to me to be an amazing relationship. I love the story. I love how vulnerable you got about it, because that's incredible. You can tell your significant other to stop watching now, as I'm going to ask you, when's the ring buying?
Shit. You know, if I can get everything financially right, I would say probably within the next year or two.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And she's very cognizant of it as well. She's just like, financially, we're just not ready to get married, have a kid, and I want it all right now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm that irresponsible one. I'm like, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. God damn it, that's me too, dude. But yeah, don't worry about it.
She's the responsible one.
She thinks things
like,
through.
I want it too right now. Believe me, but she's just like, there's no way we can make it happen right now.
I get that.
Yeah.
And so that she's being responsible. Absolutely. She's understanding of the financial situation.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that's absolutely fair.
Because I'm a guy too. I got time. You know what I mean? I got time to have kids.
Of course. When she's young.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's different. Like, because the girls that I date are usually in their like early 30s. Mm-hmm. It's so weird because I can't date real young. I can't do it. Mm-hmm. I've done 26. Mm-hmm. I'm in my mid 30s, and I've done 26. It's okay. I was fine with it. I did 22 for a little bit last summer, 2 summers ago.
Yeah, it's
just, I don't know what to fucking talk about.
Yeah.
I don't know how these rich dudes do it. They get these girls that are half their age. I'm like, what do you guys fucking talk about?
So true.
She doesn't know what Lincoln Park is. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to talk to her about?
What the fuck? She don't know what Lincoln Park is?
She doesn't know what Lincoln Park is. I bring up an Adam Sandler movie. She's like, oh, the guy from Jack and Jill. Like, no, not the guy from Jack and Jill.
Jack and Jill.
No, not that guy. No, the guy from Waterboy and Happy Gilmore. Fuck. So I can't date girls dating girls under 30 is really hard for me. I need someone who understands my references, who kind of gets the time that I grew up in. And you know what? That probably says some bad things about me and how I refuse to evolve and grow as a person. I don't care. It's who I am.
No, but it's like what you said. You got to relate. And dude, like, I was lucky because she's so mature. Like, dude, her music was even better than mine when we first met. Dude.
Really?
Yeah.
What genre is she into?
She everything, bro.
Yeah.
And she she likes the old school fucking like soul music and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like that fucking Ella Fitzgerald, fucking she listens to everything, dude. Literally everything. But it's one of those things where it's like everything we talk, and she was into movies too, so that was obviously an easy way in because all the movies I saw, she saw too.
Yeah.
And ones that she didn't see, I would show her, and she would love because it's just movies. But I got, like I said, dude, like it's not even me. I got extremely lucky. I don't know what I did. Maybe it was a past life thing. Maybe it was something, maybe giving the right person some money or something like that.
Right, a little karma flip your way.
Yeah, bro. But I'll to the day I die, I did not deserve this woman. I don't know why she's with me. I don't know why she wants to be with me.
Well, I'll tell you, you're a pretty awesome guy.
Thank you, bro.
So I'm not surprised by it, but I do appreciate how humble you are to be surprised by it. And I also didn't know Scumbag Jesse.
Yeah,
I never met Scumbag.
I keep that Jesse.
I met Today Jesse. Today Jesse's great. Scumbag Jesse, I'm curious. It's going start with the 10. She says no, turn next to the friend. That's pretty ballsy. I'll give you that.
Dude, I can't even tell you how many times I fucking did that, bro. It was ridiculous, man. It was so crazy.
All right, he's Jesse Tugas. Tell people how to find you. You can check out his podcast, The Successful Failure. It's a great podcast. Got a lot of great comics on there. And you just partnered with somebody, right?
Yeah, the Podcast Room, dude. The Podcast Room. They're a podcast production company out in Pennsylvania. It was actually a homie of mine, but he saw what I was doing. Finally, after like 15 episodes, he's like, let's partner up, dude. I'm like, okay, cool.
This fucking guy, 15 episodes. You know how many podcasts would be like after 15 episodes they get something? Like that would be incredible for most podcasts. So you've done a very good job with that podcast.
Thank you, dude. Thank you.
Seriously, that's a very early for it to catch that kind of traction. So congratulations, man.
Thank
that's
you so
fucking
much,
awesome. Dude. And Instagram, where can people find you?
Instagram, Jesse Tugas on Instagram, and then the Successful Failure Podcast on Instagram, and then on YouTube you can find me at Jesse Tugas. It has all the podcast stuff on there and a couple of my short films, but that's about it.
Filmmaker. Real quick before we leave, we got a couple minutes. Thinking about getting back into film at all, or are you just enjoying the shit out of podcasting and comedy?
Yeah, I am right now. If I go back anything, I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to spend any money on it, but I still do write scripts. I got a couple of ideas actually that I have right now and I'm working on. I've got a couple scripts from before I started comedy that did okay and went to a production company, but nothing really happened. But I'm more so writing now. If I'm offered to direct, we'll see. You know what I mean? How I feel. But right now, my main focus on podcasts and fucking comedy, dude.
Have you thought about doing like comedy shorts?
I have. I don't know if I would direct and edit them. I would write it and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
It's a big undertaking.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. You know what I mean? If all the stars align, I collaborate with the right people, then maybe. You know what I mean?
Well, you've told me some of your concepts in the past, and I think they're really good. So that's why I'm just curious about the filmmaking, where you go from there.
Yeah, right now, dude, it's just the writing is really the only thing I have really interest in right now.
Fuck yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess that's that. I was thinking about a Lizzo joke, and it didn't come. I don't know why a Lizzo joke was coming in. Just eat the fucking banana. Like, get the fuck over it. No one else is hiring you to be a dancer. Like, I still can't get over that. That, like, Lizzo's dancers are like, she took us to a red light district. Like, I know it's technically sexual harassment, but I'll tell you this. The amount of times I've been with dudes that I worked for that have taken me to strip clubs and told me to do some shit that I didn't really want to do, but I'm like, the boss said do it. Maybe just grab the titty. Like, eat the fucking banana, dude.
Banana, dude. Is that the worst thing you've eaten? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Times are hard, okay? Eat the banana out of the vagina. You'll like it a little, I promise. All right, he's Jesse Tugas. I'm Mike Bassano. This has been Catastrophic Love. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.